Hey guys, this is your inspirational nurse underscore RN. Here comes to life with another great video. Hello and happy summer to all my nurses, all my CNAs, all my healthcare workers, medical assistant, down to a unit secretary. Yes, I said it. Happy summer to everyone, whether you have experience or not. Welcome to the Inspirational Channel. This is your girl Tiara, and I have a story time for you. This video is I just walked out of my DON position. Just went to the worst nursing home possible. So I'm going to share my 2 weeks experience and how I walked out of there with my pride. So if you are interested, keep watching. This is your girl Tiara going to spill the tea as I usually do. So let's jump in. First off, you guys, let's talk about it. So if you guys do not know, I was recently a director of nursing at a nursing home, not very local. I had traveled maybe 35 minutes outside of my normal travel radius. I decided to take on another management gig, maybe to, just elevate my leadership, skills, because that is the area of entrance in nursing. Yes, I said it. It's just really complicated or hard to find somewhere that you can call home and the team takes on to you and you guys can grow together and they trust in your leadership abilities, right, to elevate their careers. So stay tuned, y'all. Let's just talk about it. So, guys, recently I took a DON's position, guys. Now, this was one of the highest paying gigs that, as far as staffing, we're not talking about traveling, right, y'all? As far as staffing goes, that I was brought on to. Now, this company, guys, I have worked for before, twice in the past. They have several buildings throughout this state, and I decided to take on another leadership position, right? So, in the beginning, guys, me and this administrator, I had my interview over 4 hours, guys. She just kept talking and talking and talking. I felt a little ironic, but I just observed and did a lot of listening and took a lot of notes and decided to give it a try. The team automatically took on to me, the nursing team. I did see some red flags, guys. I moved into my office, and the first week, my power went out twice. I had a major leak, and I didn't have an AC in there, but they put like a portable one, which was pretty fine for me. But there was so many things that were starting to creep up, right? The conditions were terrible, guys. This must have been the worst nursing home I've ever been into. Not only was there black mold, but there was roaches and mice and everything. And usually I can bypass certain things, if I see that it's being taken care of. And I'm like, okay, well, I have confidence that this issue is being taken care of. No, what they were doing was just replacing the towels. Wasn't really doing extensive work to make the issue go away, right? Just kind of like putting a band-aid on things. Now, that was just some of it. Now, originally, it was just me, and they hired two of us. One was already hired before me. Another director was already hired before me that was supposed to be there temporarily, and I was there supposed to be permanent. Which, if you have two leaderships in the building, it's not going to go too well because you have two different leadership styles. You guys are trying to come together. She was more experienced than I was and was trying to train me, which I was so excited about the training. Y'all know how I am about education and training. I love it. And in the beginning, everything was smooth, guys. Like, me and the administrator clicked. We had a lot of similarities. She was very, very talkative. She said she had a condition. And so I understood and respect her for that, for being honest. And then I'm learning my team, guys. So I'm getting there, right? I'm assessing everything. And I'm learning things, patterns. I'm listening to my team. I had a town hall meeting that wasn't even set up by me. I noticed the administrator was doing a lot of nursing, like stepping into a lot of the nursing role without knowing the nursing role. Because our conditions for me taking this job was I would teach her nursing and she would teach me administration, right? So one day I could run the whole building, which was great. But again, was digging her elbows too deep into nursing, right? Nursing is nursing. And when you're working into a nursing home, right, administrator does not usually have a nursing background. That's why I was so interested in learning administration roles. So I do have that nursing background and I can connect it to, which most administrators don't. So some administrators that you might work with, if you decide to go into leadership, they don't know, or they just stay out of it completely, or some are like too into it and thinking they're knowing what they're doing, meaning they're still controlling the staff. They're still deciding who's hired, who's fired, who's coming in, which she was still controlling that. She still was controlling a lot of things when I would interview people and I'm in the middle of my training and she's like, yeah, you're interviewing this person. I'm like, no. Usually you allow the director to take over. She schedules her meetings. She schedules her interviews. She gets to know her own team on her own terms. And it's not like a force. I felt like a force, or like I was promised a certain thing, but then under her conditions, if I followed her conditions, I felt like I would have been fine with everything. Then there was a lot of hurt and pain in that building because of the way her first approach was. When you become any type of leadership, guys, your first impression is everything. And the team will never forget the things that you do. So you don't want to go into a building high strong, already ready to make changes when you don't even know what it is, right? These workers has been there. They know what it is. They know that the weaknesses of their building. They know where the company is falling short, and maybe you do not know these things, right? So you're already starting to change things to impress, corporate team or whoever's above you, but then you're hurting the people that's working. What's going to happen is the building's going to collapse. There's not going to be staffed, and then patients are going to be neglected, right? And anytime patients are neglected, that's when it's time for me to take a step back. And guys, so the first 2 weeks was going great. And I was like, okay, starting to train with the other lady and we're going great. And then all these things. And now, guys, this was a big building. This was like 4 nursing units, 2 floors. They have a mixture of staff, not a lot of nursing, right? It was really lacking a lot of employees. And I was kind of starting to see why. The administrator was very, very strong, where she needed to be in a building where she just runs everything and doesn't need a nursing department or anything with nursing, maybe a business administration, not healthcare administration. Healthcare administration, you have to learn how to work with others and know that without nursing, you have no company, you have no team, you have no business, because nursing is supposed to be 24 hours in this types of business, right? And without that, nurses do have a lot of power. It's just that we don't use it, guys. We take our frustrations out on each other. We take our frustrations, again, out on the wrong people when we need to speak up and stand for things that is not right, the right way, guys. So, again, I was starting to see a lot of things unfold, and it was happening so fast. This building already had an IJ, meaning somebody had got injured, and some other things. So one night, guys, I'm sleeping. I'm getting all these phone calls that, someone was possibly getting hurt. Wasn't in the building. Staff was reporting an incident. I remember calling, and I remember trying to text and call my on-call manager to say, hey, can you go assess the situation? Tell me everybody's fine. And all this is going on. I'm texting so many people because while this is going on, I have patients going out to the hospital. I'm like, why is all these patients going out to the hospital? So now I'm thinking, I have to look at the diagnoses here. What are the common diagnoses that keep coming up? Now, the last building that I was a leader in, guys, we had a lot of sepsis, which I was getting with the company about having a protocol in nursing homes. Now, I know nursing homes is a whole different beast. And maybe I'm the type of leader that just need to be in a hospital setting and not in nursing home, because the way that my nursing style my leadership style is, it doesn't always match the nursing home environment, because the way I'm thinking things should be done is not the way that is done in nursing homes, right? But again, I'm thinking of protocols because, right, without protocols save time, and it actually saves lives if it's followed. I have been in places that have amazing protocols that nurses can automatically do their job if a patient health is being compromised, right? They don't have to go to step 1, step 2, step 3, then step 4. Meanwhile, the patient sepsis and sepsis lead to death. And we don't want nothing to happen to these patients, right? So I remember last nursing home, I was pushing for protocols. I was pushing for these things, and they said, hey, we thought about it, and we've been trying to get corporate on board. And anytime you're working in a business where the nursing team is not the heart of the business and it's the profit, that's the place where you might not belong, because that means that it's business driven and it's not nursing driven. If you in a company or you're a leader in certain business where it is nursing driven, then it's going to be a successful business, because nursing driven means that actually leads to more revenue and more money for the business. If the business is ran right, they can actually be very successful, but they don't, because they become very business driven and forget that nursing plays a big role in their nursing homes. Without nursing, you cannot run a business. You cannot take care of patients. You can't do these things without nurses. So we hold a lot of the power. But I'm realizing what type of leader I am, guys. I am still new to this thing, and let me tell you. So I'm investigating. I'm asking my questions. I have patients going out. Maybe one that I thought might have had a seizure. So now I'm investigating that. I had got another call and another call and another call. Meanwhile, in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, let me just email. Let me CC everybody in the email. I'm sure people are reporting this, but let me go behind them and email try to follow this thing and put everybody in this email. Because at the time, I didn't even sleep the whole night. That's how much stuff was going on in this building. Like, so much activity that was like putting patients at harm. So I'm like trying to stay on top of it. I didn't sleep that whole night because I was up with my phone. And I fell asleep with my phone and woke up a little late and was rushing in a hot mess. And I'm like, oh no, this is not going to be my life. So that was happening. Then wound up getting in trouble because I didn't make a phone call or didn't text as well as the email. Now I was like, wait a minute. Okay, well, y'all know I'm supposed to be in training. 2, I'm getting all these phone calls. I'm assessing the situation. The nurse is on duty and the manager on duty should have got asked like, hey, did you report this? Because they the ones that's on site. I'm not even on site, right? So my last building, when it came to doing any type of investigation, anytime there was an issue or a problem that occurred, we had to do a fry and had 5 days to investigate. We, in my last administrator, we rocked every fry out together because we was not the only reporters. Our whole building were healthcare workers are mandated reporters. They can report any abuse allegation to me or my administrator. And what we did is we came together and we either came back to the building or we stayed over and we worked on the fry, we typed it up, and then we sent it to the state, and then we started our investigation. And usually in my nursing side of it, I would already go ahead and have my in-services ready to go. I was like, I'm still type A, guys, so I'm having my in-services ready to go to educate the team right then and there to say, hey, next time you have a patient with this situation, we do that. Pull the policies already. So I was already prepared and we knocked everything out. Now, I was not new to that part. The overwhelming part of having 2 managers, now 2 DONs, now I'm thinking she already did something because I see her texting something else up to her, to our regional, and then I'm still texting, emailing, and I'm like, it's too many hands in the pot, right? So instead, they put me under suspension for a couple of days, and then I come back, right? So now all this is happening. I said, God, you know what? I thank God for this experience because let me tell you, when I started to do more walking around the place and looking around, there was so much black mold. Oh my God. The conditions of the building was terrible. Ceilings was falling down, holes in the wall, roaches walking around, mouse playing in the middle of the daytime. Now, if you see a mouse in the daytime, y'all, you know what it is because usually mouses come out at night. And these mouses were bold. They were coming out in the daytime. It was water on the floor. It was filthy. It smelled like urine. It was just so bad. And I wound up getting sick the second week. And now your girl usually don't ever, thank God, I ever get sick. And I was down. Thank God my kids wasn't even home for 2 weeks, right? So I'm down in the pits. I'm sick. And my husband, I'm sleeping downstairs on my couch because I couldn't even breathe, y'all. My husband's like, I'm sleeping next to you. He came downstairs with me. We downstairs trying to get me together. I was a mess. I was down. I was congested. I was hot and cold, fever, coughing. And I haven't felt this way ever. So I'm investigating my own symptoms. I'm like, okay, if it gets out of hand, I got to go 911 because it was getting out of hand. I felt terrible. I felt very weak. My muscles was aching. I had a headache. It was so many respiratory things that I was experiencing. And I was like, I got to take care of myself and remove myself out of that environment. And like I said, this could have been a test from God to say, hey, I'm going to put you in a situation to see what you do. Because if I wanted to, guys, financially, I could have just cut my mouth shut, closed my eyes, act like nothing appeared, and just came home with a check every 2 weeks, right? Like nothing is happening. But I just couldn't. It's just not in me as a leader to see conditions. And I see my patients being neglected. And I see my nurses being neglected, not being taken care of. I see how this leadership is happening. And I'm like, why? Maybe she thought she had a nurse that was novice and didn't know better. This is Tiara, right? So Yeah, so I think people see my innocent look and they think, okay, she doesn't know anything. She's not going to say anything. Just pay her all this money. And I could not do it. I just couldn't. It just couldn't. It was the God in me just couldn't do it. And I'm realizing, guys, that you might have certain skills, right? Some of you guys might be really good into management, but the environment may not be where you need to be a leader at. And that's okay, because there's so many places that need good leaders, right? My nurses took on to me like from day one. Everybody was calling and texting me, calling and texting me, calling and texting me. I did not want to leave my team. I do not like to start with a family and then leave my family. Like, I don't like that. But again, I was like, God, this cannot be happening. But I'm glad I was a witness to it. Kind of like God's John, right? Witnessing all these things that God want me to see, so that way he can make changes to these places. Sometimes that's part of my assignment. And sometimes I get so much spiritually attacked just because of that, right? Just because I don't have a normal life, y'all. I go out here to these different assignments, and God will tell me to go somewhere, and then he'll pull me out in like a short time. He'll pull me out and say, run, and I'll get out of here as fast as I can. And maybe I'm there to influence change, or, witness to God's doing something or change that need to be made. And it's a test, because God, weeks and weeks ago, I've been praying to be wealthy and rich, and God was testing me. And I did not sell myself short. I did not sell myself for no money. And I was just like, I can't. I know that I have bills just like everybody else, but I know God also sustains my needs. He's been doing it for years. It's just that the enemy tries to psych you out that he's not going to do it. Like, God is not going to pay your bills. Now you're going to lose everything. And then he plays with your mind like that. Do not let the enemy play with your mind like that. It's all about what you know. When you feel your mind is going negative and you're in between work, or, you're a travel nurse, maybe waiting for your next gig, God is always going to provide for his people. He never breaks his promises. Now, I know people who break promises, but he is not one to break a promise. So don't get disencouraged when things are not going so well and you're like, oh, what's going to happen? Because God knows what's next. He can see far ahead in our future than we can. We only see in parts. Even though we get visions and dreams, we only see things in parts. So we have to keep our faith and we have to keep moving. But guys, I learned so much in such a short time. I know what kind of leader that I am. I walked out of there with my head held high. And when I came back, guys, they had me on a cart trying to say that they wanted me to train as a novice nurse, basically starting over. Like, I didn't know how to pass the pill. It had nothing to do with my job description that I signed up for. I was like, you're not about to have me standing here just because you need some nurses to work the floor. I'd rather you had said, be transparent and say, hey, we just need it. We very short and we need your help on the floor. I will help in a heartbeat. But for you to lie to me, I don't like liars. That I can't. If I feel like I can't trust you, then I can't work with you. That's just how Tiara is. I can't work like that, right? And it's so hard. It's so sad, because it could really been turned around, but it cannot be turned around when there's evil and there's bad happening, and God needs to make a change first to the building before good starts to happen, right? And for them. But my prayers go up to them. I was just so over it. And I was calm, and people always want to know why I'm so calm when everything is going on, because I know God is right behind me through all of this. Like, he sees everything. He's protecting me through all of this. Like, thank God in like 4 days, I start to feel better. Like, my immune system always usually pumps in, usually by day 2, day 3. So I knew this was not just a regular cold. And all of a sudden I felt better. I started to get my strength back. My husband made me some special ginger root tea, and he makes really good teas. And I felt like starting to get myself back, but still a little like runny nose and little things like that. The post part of being sick. But honey, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. And I just encourage the nurses there that there is better. Like, we don't have to work in those conditions just because, oh, what's going to happen if I go with the patients? Because we get so wrapped up with these patients, but we have to realize it is still a business. You know how many patients need you out there? And if you stay wrapped up with one group of patients, you would not grow, and you won't get a chance to treat other patients that need you, right? There's thousands of other patients that is waiting for you to come and to take care of them. You have to learn how to take care of yourself. And taking care of yourself is saying, no, this is not right. I will not be a part of it, and I will not stand for this, and walk out. It is nothing wrong with that. It actually takes a lot of strength to do that, because people who just say, you know what, I'm going to close my eyes to this, act like this is not happening, it's not my fault, and they know better. You also know better. You're accountable for everything that you do. You are accountable for not, let's say, reporting abuse or neglect. This is the first time I actually reported something, like as far as on a bigger scale, because I just could not believe what I was seeing. And that's okay. That is okay, guys. God is going to continue to provide for me and my family. He has gave me this beautiful home, beautiful life, and he did that. So if he gave me this, he's going to take care of it. So whatever God gives you, he's not going to just give you stuff and not give you a plan to maintain it. So don't let fear and doubt keep you from your blessings, because fear and doubt can keep you from your blessings. I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know why I'm talking about fear and doubt, but fear and doubt can keep you from your blessings because you are so fearful of what ifs. That's also part of anxiety and worrying. So you need to pray away the spirit of anxiety and worrying, because God doesn't like us to be worrying and anxiety, because God has it in his word already what he's doing. It's already written, guys. Before you was born, it was written what he is doing for us, because he already knew what we would have to go through in these times. And these times is going to be hard. Finding a team to fit your needs, finding work that is decent and in good condition, it takes time to find that. And guys, I am so excited for my next chapter. I don't know what's going to happen next, but I am so excited. I've been putting in for some other things, and I'm just like, I had my ICU interview and I was super excited. I went to the most prestige awarded ICU. It was beautiful, guys. It was so beautiful. So God has been opening up a lot of doors, a lot of opportunity. I still have to do the work, but God is the one enforcing it and saying, nope, this is yours. Nope, this is yours. And what God has for you, no one can take away. So don't ever get fearful and don't doubtful and don't let the enemy get in your head, because what is for you is for you. No one can take it. It is going to be for you. No one can stop it, not man. Man can't stop God's blessing over your life and what miracle he's going to do in you, because I got a feeling he's getting ready to do some miracles on my channel for all my people that watch. He's going to do some blessings and some miracles. I'm so happy, and I want you guys to share. Don't feel sad for me, guys. I am happy. I got my health, because without your health, you can't work, sis. You can't work. And yeah. So if you was in that situation, what would you have done? Would you have done the same thing and just benefit somehow and just kept it quiet? Or would you have done what I have done, right? And compromise your own health, right? Just for a job. I wouldn't do it. So I hope this video was super special. I wanted to share this with you guys because, as you know, I'm very transparent on this channel and I try to share everything, literally everything. So stay tuned.